Class 8, Relative Clauses. This is our last class of Unit 1, and it is about relative clauses. But what are they and what are they for? Well, let's explain. Relative clauses are those that perform the subordinate function with respect to a main clause, adding more information about a thing or a person that had already been mentioned before. For example, the cushions that are on the couch are purple and green. In this case, the main sentence would be the cushions are purple and green, and the secondary or subordinate sentence would be the cushions are on the couch. To unite both, we use the relative pronoun that, which refers to cushions. There are two main types of relative clauses: defining relative clause and non-defining relative clauses. Defining relative clause: these types of sentences give necessary information to understand what we are referring to and do not contain commas. For example, the cushions that are on the couch are purple and green. In the previous sentence, if we omit the subordinate clause, we no longer know which cushions we are referring to. And in the case of non-defining relative clauses, these types of sentences provide additional information about the person or thing we are referring to, but it is not essential to identify it. For example, his boyfriend, who is from Madrid, is studying maths. In this last example, the sentence does contain commas. If we remove the relative clause, it is still clear which person we are referring to. Now, let's learn about the relative pronouns. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that's used to introduce a relative clause. The main English relative pronouns are who, which, that, and whom. Let's talk about each one. Let's start with who. This pronoun is only used to refer to people. It can serve as the subject or object of the sentence. Examples: the woman who works at my office is very efficient. Mark's brother, who is 18, has just started university. Next is which. Unlike who, this pronoun only works for things and animals. It can also be the subject or object of the sentence. For examples: the book which I read last week is very interesting. The cat, which is very friendly, is called Tom. We continue with that. This is a pronoun that can be applied to both people and things. Therefore, you can use it to replace both who and which if the context allows it. For example, the woman that works at my office is very efficient. The book that I read last week is very interesting. And finally, we have the pronoun whose, which we should not confuse with who, since whose functions as a possessive. For example, yesterday I met the girl whose sister is a supermodel. I know the guy whose bike you bought. And in this way, we conclude with Unit 1 of this grammar course too. You can watch all the videos and review them. They will be useful for your quizzes and exams. See you in Unit 2.